West for the second half of this Limerick Senior Football Championship final between Ballylanders and Adair. Ballylanders holding 9 points to 5 lead. Of course, this game brought to you on sportinglimerick.com. I'm joined in the commentary box by Matt O'Callaghan of the Weekly Observer Vale Star, and of course Shawnee Buckley, former Limerick Senior Football captain. Cracking first half. Opening half hour there with Ballylanders going in with a 4-point lead. Adair back on the field. We're awaiting Ballylanders' return. Shawnee, very impressive from Ballylanders in that opening half hour.
Yeah, you'd have to be impressed with them. I'm sure everything they spoke about and how to be smart, they've kept ahead on the field, and they've kept trying to play to whatever their plan was. They've definitely stuck to it, and key is finding, as we said already, finding the right men up front and letting them do the shooting. Let the lads up front take the glory, but the work is definitely being done back the field as well. They deserve huge credit for that. Adair, I see again the management there on the field, like they just need to come out early in the first 5 minutes and really go at it. A score or two and the momentum can change, but the key is, I'd imagine Adair will have a spell on top at some stage here. The key is, can they get a couple of scores there that'll really bring them back into the game and fire the team up a small bit. If you look at who has the spark and what team has the spark, what team has the edge and is fired up, it's all Bally, and Adair need to kind of shift that really in order to have a chance.
Matt, it's Adair, like as Shawnee has mentioned, they're the reigning champions. They need a monumental effort in this second half to keep hold of their crown.
They do, and Shawnee is right. Like, you get a couple of points early on to change the momentum. Just looking around, it would look to me that Harry Gleeson and his backroom team have kept faith with their starting 15. How long they will persevere with that if it's not going their way, and I suppose they're doing so on the hope that they will find the rhythm. They will find the pattern that they've been so used to for the last 2 years. But they certainly have a huge challenge in hands.
Back with play now as the game started. It's Adair straight on the attack, and Stephen Keeley with the possession. Low ball inside. Ball laid off then now to Mikey Lyons. Lyons straight away with a chance for Adair. It's tailed to the left, and Shawnee, that would have been a perfect start for Adair, getting them back into the contest.
It would have been, yeah, but they look here now straight away. I'd imagine they'll be all over this here, all over the kick out, and look to build on that. Try and keep the ball down this end of the field and work really hard and try and build from here. This will be an interesting kick out here to see who gains possession.
It's Declan O'Connor who will take that kick out for Ballylanders, and no rush already. Ballylanders maybe trying to slow things down with their 4-point lead. A bit early to be doing that, but Declan had to go and retrieve the ball on that occasion. It's going to be him to kick it out. Ballylanders' kick out options have worked very well in this first half, and it's a 1-1 again now. It's Danny Froon who's fouled straight away the second he goes on a run. Froon looking to take this quickly. He has Liam Martin in midfield. Instead he gives it to Brian O'Connell now. It's off to Stevie Fox around the midfield area. Fox with a long ball in, looking for Jimmy Barry Murphy. Edited there. Good run from him, and he lays the ball off to his half-back partner Oran Collins inside to Stephen Keeley, and it's poor again from Adair. Jack English does well, having lost the ball, to retain it. Gives it back to Paul Maher. Maher now has Uberk on his left hand side. Instead, having won a free, he gives it inside to Shane O'Connor, and O'Connor now back into the middle. Davy Lyons now back to Mikey. Loads of room, beautiful pass to Stephen Keeley. Keeley with a chance now to score his second point of the game. His block on it, it's a wild clearance from Stevie Walsh, and it was Shane O'Connor looking to get possession from Adair after that blocked initial shot, and Stevie Walsh pulled on it. Matt, it's the only way I could describe it. A wild hack at it.
Good, but even Keeley there, like, he was in acres of space, and it comes back to what we're talking about the finishers. Had O'Callaghan, Murphy or Froon got that type of space in the first half, they would have been clinical. Like, and he made nothing out of it. All right, there was a bit of a scramble in the goal, and Stephen Walsh deflected it out over the inline for a 45. This 45, I suppose, will be interesting. It's certainly within Robbie Burke's compass.
It's a fine strike from Burke, but that's a badly needed free, as Shawnee Buckley says alongside me in commentary. It's a fine effort from Robbie Burke.
Yeah, Adair have started very, very brightly. Again, it's all about the scoreboard, and they needed that one. If that had gone wide again, it would have been a flat start. But here they try and build on the kick out again. Ballylanders got their hands on the last one. Adair need to up it around the middle here and scrap for ball.
And 9 points to 6 in favour of Ballylanders. And see a fantastic catch and mark from Owen O'Mahony from Declan O'Connor's kick out. Fantastic catch from the half forward. Slows things down. He plays the ball to Tom O'Dwyer. Tom O'Dwyer slips as he leaves the ball off. He looks to have hurt himself in that process too, was Tom O'Dwyer, but Ballylanders now working the ball away. Adair, as you can see in front of us, piling under pressure, hunting in packs, and something that maybe a fire was lit under them at half time. It looks to be the case early on in the second half. It's going to be a line ball, and it's Ballylanders that have won that ball. Positive signs for Adair at the start of the second half, Matt.
Yeah, certainly they have started positively. they've been G'd up, but they've knocked the point off it, but they've got to maintain it, and they need to make inroads into the lead pretty quickly.
And so Dwyer, who took that sideline ball, found Danny Froon, recovered from that injury just moments before that. Danny Froon now on the run, under pressure from Owen Ryan. Owen Ryan has put his hands in. Froome went down, free award, and a chance for Jimmy Barry Murphy to restore Ballylanders' 4-point lead as Tom O'Dwyer goes down again in front of us. Looks to be a abdomen injury, but Shawnee would be the perfect response for Ballylanders if Jimmy Barry Murphy puts this one over.
It would. On the two kickouts, two Ballylanders kickouts there at the start of the second half. Danny Froome caught the first, and Owen O'Mahony caught the second. When it looked like Adair were beginning to maybe put on a small bit of pressure, Danny Froome, or Owen O'Mahony catches that one into Danny Froome, and he's in a great free and in a great scoring position now.
It's a poor effort from Jimmy Barry Murphy on this occasion. One he'll be very disappointed with. His standard usually be a lot higher than that, Matt.
Yeah, he will be very disappointed because he was quite far off target, as you say, for Jimmy Barry. He normally puts those over, and he was really never got hold of that one, and it's a disappointing into that for Ballylanders and for Jimmy Barry Murphy. And it was a glorious chance to restore the 4-point lead, but we have Adair attacking here now through Davy Lyons.
Davy Lyons won the kick out after a deflection came his way over on the far side, dressing room side. Finds Oren Collins with a low pass. Collins now has Paul Maher outside. Maher, ball left off, and they're looking for a goal. It's Jack English here on the run. Jack English with a shot straight over the bar, went for goal, no question, went for power on the run. Fine effort from Jack English. It's 2-point game again, I should say. 9-7 in favour of Ballylanders, and a hint of a goal there, Sean.
Yeah, just accuracy in the passing, fluid movement there where they got runners off the shoulder, and accuracy in the passing. Anytime the first half they got a bit of a run going, a pass on the ground or a pass behind the man was killing them. Here again, big win there for Owen O'Mahony. Again, he's after catching 2 kickouts. The first he's after getting a free. No, he's a free with him, but 2 kickouts caught already this half for Owen O'Mahony.
3 kickouts from Ballylanders in the second half, as Shawnee mentions. All of them won. Kickout strategy certainly working from them in this senior football championship final. They're looking to win their first title since 2014, as we've already mentioned, they're looking to retain their crown as Jason Lee comes forward for Ballylanders. He leaves the ball off to Brian O'Connell. He's got Kieran O'Callaghan outside him. O'Connell still has the ball, does well to maintain it, and finds O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan with a lovely first time hand pass to Jason Lee, and Lee on the run up from the full back line, and Jason Lee has not got Ballylanders' first point of the game. It looked from our angle, and Ballylanders aren't happy. It looked to have gone over the bar. The umpire up there had a better view of it than us, and it was a chance for Jason Lee. It looked to have gone over, but we're told otherwise.
It looked from here, and Jason seemed to be pretty sure that it was gone over, but obviously it wasn't. But we were reflecting there on the kickouts a few minutes ago, and about Owen O'Mahony has fielded 2. Ballylanders have won 3 kickouts since half time. But a lot of credit in those circumstances must go to the kicking of the goalkeeper, Declan O'Connor.
So Adair on the attack now as Oren Collins speeds away from a few Ballylanders players. He's pulled back by Stevie Walsh. Referee Mike Sexton playing advantage. Hugh Burke now leaving the ball off. Oren Collins again. Chance here. And it's gone over the bar. It's a fine effort. And it's a point for... It looks like Shane O'Connor who's got it. In fact, it's not. It's Mark Connolly with the point. It's a fine score from Mark Connolly. Very well worth scoring that occasion from Adair, Shawnee.
Really good, really good. Things are starting to come off for Adair. They're getting some good movements. There they had an advantage from a free, and they didn't panic. They still worked to score really well, and find the right man in the right place to take the shot. You know, whatever kind of talk they had at half time as regards trying to do the right thing and attack and not panic, you know, it's certainly paying off a bit. They look much more economical the second half.
Ballylanders had a 4-point lead at half time. It's down to 1 now. It's 9-8 as Adair come forward once again. And it's Uberk with the pass out here to Mikey Lyons. Mikey Lyons now on the run. He's met by Owen Martin. The ball leaves the ball off to Connolly. Connolly now. Stephen Keeley. Keeley now cuts back onto his left hand side. It's back to Mikey Lyons. He had a man inside looking for the goal. Lyons opts to hold on to possession. And it's Adair work it back out to the Ballylanders 45 metre line. Patient build up from Adair. And it's Jack English again. Point a moment ago. Chance to level again. And Adair have 4 on the bounce. And it's all square here in the Limerick Senior Football Championship final. 4 scores in the start of the second half in the opening 9 minutes for Adair. And Matt O'Callaghan, Adair looking like their old selves once again.
Yeah, they are. There's no question about it. They're finding their rhythm. We were talking at half time about the challenge that was being laid down to Adair. Shawnee flagged it like, come out, get a couple of points, the momentum would change. It certainly has changed. And now the real challenge is to Ballylanders.
Indeed it is. We questioned Adair at the end of the first half and in our half-time talk. They've certainly answered every question. 4 points on the bounce. Their urgency is up as well. As a sideline cut they have over on the far stand side here in Newcastle West, and it's Adair coming forward once again. And it's brought out to Stephen Keeley here by David Connolly. Keeley now low onto Mikey Lyons, and again it's no surprise to see Lyons on the ball here in this early stages of the second half. Lyons now plays it into Robbie Burke, ball off to Oran Collins. Collins has already shown his speed. Collins has a chance, went for the fisted point, and he somehow managed to put it wide. Huge chance for Adair to take the lead again, as Ballylanders, surprisingly it has to be said, are removing Kieran O'Callaghan from play. It's going to be Owen Walsh coming into the fray. It's a surprise to see Kieran O'Callaghan come off, Matt.
I think it is. I thought Kieran O'Callaghan had a huge first half. He will be disappointed. Obviously, Owen Walsh, Mike Fox and his team down there, they honestly believe he's good for the last 20 minutes. It will be very interesting. Certainly, Kieran O'Callaghan has been deprived of opportunities in the second half. I don't think Ballylanders, apart from Jimmy Barry Murphy and another effort, they've had chances on goal. So it's a surprise change, but certainly Owen Walsh is an extremely good footballer and an extremely experienced footballer.
High ball in from Mikey Lyons. Declan O'Connor comes for it. Ball falls to Ballylanders. They're going to have a free out. It was Mikey Lyons' initial shot from over on the left touch line. Declan O'Connor decided to come. He didn't make it his. He got a bit lucky with it. Either way, it's Ballylanders coming out with the ball, and it's Jimmy Barry Murphy in possession. Jimmy Barry Murphy now a long way from the full forward line where he was operating. The ball's gone out over the send line, and Shawnee Buckley, Adair completely dominant at this early stage with 11 and a half minutes gone to the second half.
Yeah, they've got a bit of their swagger back. It's chalk and cheese to what we saw at the end of the first half. Things are coming a bit more easier to them now, and passes are a bit slicker. Again, I go back, Mikey Lyons, just a poor shot there probably at the end of it, but he is really at the centre of everything they're doing well. It's almost like when he gets on the ball, everyone around him just gets a bit of confidence about themselves. They know he'll do the right thing 9 times out of 10. Again, just probably a poor shot at the end of that, but he's solid. He's very solid here. He's doing the right thing on the ball.
It's Adair launching another attack through Shane O'Connor. He gives it off to Jack English, and English is a hard man to stop when he gets going. Takes on a few Ballylanders defenders before offloading to Hugh Burke with the hand pass. Burke now forced to beat a couple of Ballylanders defenders and gives it to Oran Collins. Collins missed a chance a moment ago. Gives it to Robbie Burke. Back to Collins inside again. Great stop on the line there on the edge of the square. Adair are looking for a free. It hasn't been given. It back to Hugh Burke. Hugh Burke puts it over the bar. Could have been a lot better. Looked to have been a foot block. Should have been a foot block, you'd have to say. Shawnee Buckley says no. Matt O'Callaghan?
No, I don't think so. But look, one way or the other, it was a lucky escape for Ballylanders. Adair could have a goal. No, Jack English has actually thundered into this game in the second half. He's made a huge contribution apart from getting 2 points. He does what he does best. He picks it up, goes straight, and he's doing it. He's causing all sorts of problems. But I just want to agree fully with what Shawnee has said about Mikey Lyons. He is the supreme playmaker out there. He's the master puppeteer. He's pulling the strings, let's face it. And look, he hasn't put a foot wrong, like he had a miscue there a while ago. But apart from that, he's showing all his years of guile and experience out there. He's hugely influential for Adair, and he was influential in the first half in keeping him in it. But certainly the momentum has definitely swung to Adair now. The scoreboard reflects it. We're 12 or 13
on and gives it back, already caused enough problems, looking for yet another point, and that's 3 in the second half for Jack English. It's 6 in a row for Ballylanders, and it's Shawnee Buckley. It's all Adair, and they're just dominating everything.
Yeah, I was just going to say they need to go short here and win the ball, get their hands on the ball. I think one of their lads tried going down injured. They need to stop. They need to stop the bleeding here. They need to, calm it down a small bit, settle on the ball, and get the grips of the game. Get a shot up. Free, that was probably a bit harsh here, I thought, and possibly a free to Ballylanders, maybe going the other way. Adair are rampant at the minute. Ballylanders need to get on the ball and hold on to it.
It's Paul Maher taking possession from Hugh Burke's free, short free from Burke. Maher now on the run, doesn't have too many options. It's Owen Ryan, centre half back, who has it. Back to Maher inside. Eventually finds his way to Shane O'Connor. Good dummy from O'Connor, gives it back to Maher. Maher fashioning a chance. That's another score from Adair, and that's 7 on the bounce. 12 points to 9. 15 minutes played of this second half in the Limerick Senior Football Championship final, brought to you on SportingLimerick.com. Matt O'Callaghan. How are Ballylanders going to stop Adair?
I just don't know. We're seeing Adair now since they came out at half time, and particularly in the last 10 minutes they were a bit slow in getting up to the momentum of it, but once they got going after about 5 minutes of the second half, they're looking irresistible. There's something promising happening here for Ballylanders at the moment.
It's Kieran Kelly with the shot. Looks to be close. It's not. Indeed it is. Referee or umpire Johnny had us fooled for a second. He looked like he was going to wave it wide. It's a fine score from Kieran Kelly. That's the most important thing. A badly needed one for Ballylanders, Shawnee.
Yeah, badly wanted. They need to they need to turn over a ball or two in defence here and grow on a small bit of confidence. Ball in from Mikey inside. Dangerous here again. They're scoring at every opportunity here at there, and Ballylanders need to just get their hands on the ball.
It's Robbie Burke who has possession. He gives it back to his brother Hugh. Mikey Lyons is on the run. Hugh decides to try a crossfield pass, a needless one looking for Paul Maher. That's well intercepted by Owen O'Mahony. O'Mahony now gives it to Kelly. Kelly getting his first point of the game a couple of moments ago, and Kelly going down the right wing once again. He doesn't have too many options. In fact, he's none in front of him. 3 men marking one there, but Owen O'Mahony's done very well to go off on the run. Mahoney with a chance here, and it's to the right and wide. Play will be brought back as Shawnee Buckley, maybe you could hear him over the microphone, said Mike Sexton was playing advantage for a high shot on Owen O'Mahony. It's another chance for Ballylanders to knock one to make it a 1 point game once again, Matt. But has to be said, last couple of minutes better from Ballylanders.
Better from Ballylanders, but it was a hopeless giveaway up here at the end by Hugh Burke. I just don't know who he was directing it to, because there were 2 Ballylanders players between I think the intended receiver, and that's high risk, and the execution of it was very poor, and Ballylanders have turned it over. They've gone right down the field, and instead of the threat of a score down here for Adair, we now have Jimmy Barry Murphy in a position to reduce the margin to the minimum.
And it's going to be Jimmy Barry Murphy lining this one up for Ballylanders. He's in no rush, trying to settle things down again from Ballylanders, and as Matt O'Callaghan said, trying to reduce Adair's lead to just the minimum. Pairing. Just over the bar from Jimmy Barry Murphy, and we have a point in it once again here. Shawnee Buckley badly needed scores, as me and Matt just mentioned. they've stemmed the tide significantly in the last few minutes as well.
Yeah, they've got a couple of crucial scores there. Ballylanders have done it before. If you think of the Ballysteen game, looked all over, game over, and they came out with a punch. There could be a twist or a turn in this yet, but again, just the movement that you're seeing from Adair at the minute now is nothing like what we saw the first half. Passes are to the man, passes are in front of the man, letting a runner come onto the ball. Yeah, direct running here is opening him up, but more so than just the running, as I said. The accuracy of the hand pass, it's in front of the man, it's inviting a man to come on at pace, and that seems to be the huge difference. Compare that to the first half when Adair had some promising movements and it was a bad pass or a pass behind a man or a ball on the ground. They seem to have got their act together. Big test of Bally here, really.
It looks like a fairly relatively straightforward chance here for Hugh Burke to restore Adair's 2-point lead, Matt.
Yeah, I was critical of Hugh Burke in the previous passage of play, but I think he chased in that particular case what looked to me was a semi, if not a full hospital pass. He made it his own, got a free out of it, and now has executed the free and sent it over the bar, so he has redeemed himself immediately.
Didn't think he had to redeem himself anyway, only in Matt O'Callaghan's eyes here. With 19 minutes played of this Limerick Senior Football Championship final, second half of this game, where Adair lead Ballylanders 13 points to 11. Brought to you on sportinglimerick.com. Mark O'Connell now in possession for Ballylanders. Leaves it off to Owen O'Mahony. Owen O'Mahony hand passes to Stevie Walsh. Walsh now heading off on a run. Walsh straight line, looking for options now. Manages to find Stevie Fox. It's a good pass from Fox. A good step here from Owen Walsh. His first interaction since coming into the game. And it's going to be an easy enough free here for Jimmy Barry, you would imagine. As Kieran O'Callaghan comes back into the game from the Ballylanders' point of view. He's replacing Liam Martin, and Matt, no surprise to see Kelly coming back on again.
No, and no surprise to see him walking up to that free, because it's a crucial free. But Liam Martin is coming off here, and I think Liam Martin has come off in a number of games this year, but while he's on the field, Liam Martin lets everything on the field, and it was the same today. I think he made a huge contribution in his own way out there today at midfield, and certainly that now that the ball is going back up again, they're after bringing in Kelly, so it's going to be, we're heading for a very interesting finish, because it's down to 1 point.
Indeed it is, after that straightforward free from Kieran O'Callaghan. The second he came back onto the field, Adair leading by 1 point, and it's Adair again. Well, it's not. It's Ballylanders. Kieran O'Callaghan had possession. He decided to play it on along the ground, looking for a teammate. He was unable to do so, and it's Jack Fitzgerald who comes away with things for Adair. Ball outside to the right wing, and it's Oran Collins in possession. In fact, it's not. It's David Connolly in possession. He finds his full back, Aidan O'Connor. Aidan O'Connor gives it all the way back to Fitzgerald. Jack Fitzgerald now with possession. Leaves the ball across to Owen Ryan. Owen Ryan now for Adair. He's got Shane O'Connor in front of him. He's also got 20 metres of room to run into. That's soon closed by Kieran Kelly. Ryan leaves it off here to Shane O'Connor. Shane O'Connor has Mikey Lyons in front of him. He opts to go a different way, and it's O'Connor now finds Hugh Burke in the middle of the field. Burke now with a low ball looking for his brother Robbie. Robbie manages to hold on to possession, does well to do so under pressure from Jason Lee. Lee now back inside to David Lyons. Davy Lyons now, Jack English onto Paul Maher again. Maher looking for a second point of the half. It's a poor effort from Maher. It's gone high, but it's gone very, very well wide to the right.
Yeah, again, just not finding the right man. Shooting a bit wild. I'm waiting for Matt to explain the Kieran Callaghan situation there. Coming on about 3 or 4 minutes later. I can't quite make sense of that one. I don't know, what went down the sideline after it and during his time there, I'm not sure, but it was definitely a mistake taking him off. You need your scorers on the field. Granted, they'll need to bring the ball forward, but if they can't bring the ball forward anyway, they won't score regardless of who's in there. He's been doing well enough to stay on the field. It's hard to justify taking him off. I'd probably have him further up the field at the minute than where he is now, alright though.
And Adair come away with things here. Stephen Keeley in possession. 22.5 minutes played in the second half of this Limerick Senior Football Championship final. Brought to you on sportinglimerick.com. It's Adair holding a 1 point lead over Ballylanders. 13 points to 12 as Aidan O'Connor brings play over to Davy Lyons on this right hand side, the far side here, the stand side of Newcastle West. Back to David Connolly. Connolly now to Maher. Back to Connolly again as Adair patiently build up this attack. on the Ballylanders 65-metre line. Is Keely off on the run now. Looks to have options around. Gives it back to Owen Ryan. Ryan now back to you, Burke. Burke has Jack English in the middle. He opts to go further afield again to Paul Maher. Very, very patient build-up from Adair here. Maher now plays the ball back. And it's Adair on the attack again. It's David Connolly with it. Connolly leaves it off to English. Good move from Adair, but Jack English's pass goes astray. And away come Ballylanders with an awful. It's a poor clearance from Owen Martin. He only needed a simple pass. There was a simple pass available. He went for the long one to Stevie Fox. Fox was unable to, and there's a bit of hassle here in front of us. And the Ballylanders sideline and Ballylanders bench. Not sure what that was about. Owen Ryan went into the dugout to try and get the ball back. Not the brightest move, you'd have to say, going into the opposition dugout on county final day, or any day to be honest. And Mike Sexton in front of us is going to have a word with his linesman first of all, and his fourth official, Donegal O'Callaghan, his linesman, of course. And Mike Sexton's going to call over. I'd imagine it'll be Owen Ryan that gets called over. Indeed it is. And Matt O'Callaghan, much ado about nothing, I'd imagine. Silly from Owen Ryan to go near the sideline, or go near the Ballylanders dugout.
Going to the opposition bench at this particular time when the game is so delicately poised, it's on a knife edge. Like what are we, 13 points to 12? It really is anyone's game. Now, having said that there is a certain element of greater momentum with Adair at this point, but the challenge for him is to see it out. But certainly, look. The outcome is in the melting pot.
Very much so, with nearly 25 minutes played of this second half. And Jack Fitzgerald plays the ball downfield. He finds Mikey Lyons. Lyons always available for possession. He's been chased down by Tom O'Dwyer, but it's Lyons on the attack here for Adair. Manages to give the ball off. It's a shooting chance. Straight into the hands of Declan O'Connor. Adair looking for a free. It's not forthcoming from Mike Sexton's. Kieran O'Callaghan in possession. It's Danny Froon. He lays the ball off to Danny Froon, and Froon's on the run. Brilliant defending though from Adair, and in this case it's Oren Collins, and Oren Collins is as quick as Danny Froon, and he showed it there using great pace, but he's lost the ball and Danny Froon wins it back, and it's going to be a free for Ballylanders. And Jimmy Barry Murphy is going to take it, calms everything down. A couple of players looking on the run for a quick pass. He decides not to, and it's Owen Walsh now in possession for Ballylanders. Back inside to Jimmy Barry Murphy. Murphy now over to Mark O'Connell. O'Connell now plays a low one outside here to Kieran Kelly. Kelly. Good turn from Owen Walsh. Walsh now back to Kelly again. Shooting chance for Kieran Kelly to level the game once more. It's just to the left and wide, and there's a chance, Shawnee, that someone of Kieran Kelly's calibre would expect to score.
No, but it's gone back to a fairly even game again. I would worry about Bally seem to be getting a small bit leggy now. That's the only thing I'd worry about. The last move there from Adair, before they gave it away, they went left to right, over and back, and just the body language of Ballylanders probably wasn't the greatest. They looked a bit sluggish. That's what Adair need to do, except at the end of the move, get the right man on the ball.
They have one now, and Robbie Burke. Burke giving the ball from his brother Hugh. Robbie Burke with his cultured left foot. It's going to drop to the left and wide though. And a chance for Adair to extend their lead to 2 points again, Matt. That's gone astray. It's a wide open final, 4.5 minutes.
It's a wide open final still. Certainly there was two chances there that fell to Adair to put a bit of daylight and edge towards the comfort zone. It's still very much in the melting pot.
Game finishes all square. We'll have a replay, but Adair and Ballylanders won't be looking for that at the moment. Stephen Keely now to Hugh Burke, back inside to his brother Robbie, and it's Aidan O'Connor. It's Mikey Lyons on the run for Adair. Chance for Lyons to extend the lead to 2, and you would have wanted Mikey Lyons to have that chance, to have that possession, but he puts it wide, Matt, and it's a big chance for Adair gone a begging.
Big chance for Adair gone a begging, and certainly we were eulogising Mikey Lyons all day, and it's certainly, I suppose, he's entitled to a lapse. It doesn't detract from his overall performance. Very significantly down here in front of us, Adair are introducing their captain, Shane O'Connor, who's coming into the game, and David McCarthy is coming in for Ballylanders.
It is Shane Doherty on for Adair, club captain, team captain. He's on the side and struggling with injury a lot of this season, as him, and of course, as Matt said, David McCarthy's on for Ballylanders, and it's Stevie Fox who's left the field for them. We've nearly 58 minutes played now here in a beautiful afternoon of football in Newcastle West. As Danny Froon on the run for Ballylanders. He manages to give the ball off to Brian O'Connell. It eventually finds its way to Kieran Kelly. Kieran Kelly now for Ballylanders. It's David McCarthy with an immediate impact here. And still Ballylanders trying to be patient with this attack. They have to be. They're 1 point down as we head to the closing stages here. It's O'Mahony with the ball now. He manages to give it back to Jimmy Barry Murphy. Jimmy Barry Murphy in possession. He's taking on Robbie Burke. Gives it back to Tom O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer will have to leave this one off, you'd imagine. He does. He gives it to Steve March. Back to O'Dwyer, but Hugh Burke is there brilliantly to dispossess. He's looking for a free. He's not going to get it. And it's O'Mahony with the ball once again. It's O'Mahony on the run, but Adair crowd him out of it. And it's Adair coming away with it. And it's Shane O'Doherty just into the game, making an immediate impact. No surprise to see that. And it's Robbie Burke now currently with the possession for Adair, and Burke coming away with it. Timely interception from Shane Doherty on that occasion. And it's Adair coming away with it now, and it's Mikey Lyons. Mikey Lyons now doesn't have too many options in front of him. He'll hold on to possession. There's Paul Maher on his left flank. He decides to go ahead with it himself and eventually gives it to Maher. Maher now 45 metres from goal. Back to Mikey Lyons. It's a 50-50 ball. And but still Adair come away with it as Davy Lyons. Davy Lyons will slow it all down. Mikey Lyons is down for Adair, but it's Stephen Keeley in possession now. Back outside to Davy Lyons. Davy Lyons will look back. And it's Owen Ryan as centre half back. We're going to have 4 minutes of additional time at the end of this Limerick Senior Football Championship final, brought to you on sportinglimerick.com. And it's Adair in position, David Connolly with it, and all the way out to Shane Doherty here, this near side from the commentary box. It's Doherty now roaming down the left wing, gives it off to Shane O'Connor, and Adair playing the patient game at the moment, Matt.
Yeah, they are. They're playing whole ball at the moment, and Shane O'Doherty, the captain, actually has made an impact. He has been struggling with injury since mid-season, and he certainly has made an impact in the few minutes since he came on. Look, it's still finely balanced. We're heading into injury time now. There are going to be 4 minutes. Shawnee said earlier on there could be a twist in the tail here yet, and there very well may be. Now it's a free to Adair. It's a free that Robbie Burke is within his compass.
It's been brought forward. It's going to make Robbie Burke's life a lot easier. It was going to be from about 40, nearly 50 metres long. Now it's going to be from, we'd say, 35, 40 metres. And Sean, it's well within his compass, as Matt said. It certainly was beforehand. It definitely is now. Yeah,
well, he struck a good 45 a while ago, so the legs isn't the problem. It's just the accuracy on this one now. Just Danny Froon as well, the second half. Look, he's collected an amount of ball. He's for Ballylanders at the minute. He seems to be the one really bringing the fight there. This is a crucial free coming up here now. I think it's wide, is it? Yeah, the game's still on. Game's still very much on at the minute.
Big chance for Adair to open up. Another big chance for Adair to open up. A 2-point lead. Gone a begging there. On that occasion, it was Robbie Burke who missed it. They're trying to bring on a sub, and that sub will be Charlie McCarthy whenever that sub is allowed to happen. As Ballylanders come forward again, it's Kieran O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan has Jason Lee on his outside, but instead it goes to Danny Froon. Danny Froon taking on a couple of Adair defenders, and Froon still at it. He needs some support. It's Shane Doherty, who already made a good dispossession a couple of minutes ago, but he's fouled Danny Froon here. And Jimmy Barry Murphy, with nearly 2 minutes of added time played, has a glorious chance to level things up once again, Matt.
Yeah, a glorious chance. If it is Jimmy Barry Murphy that is... No, it's Kieran O'Callaghan is actually taking it. And it's a huge kick for Kieran O'Callaghan.
Yeah, it's going to be Kieran O'Callaghan. You'd imagine a left-footed striker would be better, but as O'Callaghan will certainly fancy himself, and he hasn't landed it. It's wide. It's gone to the left and wide, and you have to question Ballylanders opting to go with Kieran O'Callaghan there with 30 seconds of this game left. There's another sub on the Ballylanders side. It's going to be James Kirby coming into the fray, but with 1 minute and a half left of added time, of 4 minutes of added time, it's Adair win. It is a good win by Stephen Keeley. James Kirby yet to come onto the field for Ballylanders that took the kick out before he had a chance to come on, but it's Adair with the ball now, and there'll be no rush to move this ball anywhere forward at the moment. They'll just look to hold on to possession, and Stephen Keeley with it. He lays the ball off. Oren Collins under pressure. A brilliant dispossession from Jimmy Barry Murphy. He saw his opportunity and took it brilliantly. And Ballylanders may have one more chance. Danny Froon is the latest man to come off the Ballylanders team. It's going to be James Kirby to come on. And Matt O'Callaghan. One last chance for Ballylanders, you'll have to think at this stage.
One last chance. If they can get that one last chance, if they can get within shooting range, we may just have another day out of it. But they need to do something very, very quick. Adair will be quite happy to play it around the middle here, and it's Jimmy Barry Murphy.
Jimmy Barry Murphy now in possession, looking to either fashion a free or get a score himself or find someone else to score. Still Jimmy Barry Murphy in possession, onto James Kirby, just onto the field, and Kirby struggling to hold onto the ball, and it's Adair that come up with it, and Adair have it now. Mikey Lyons, no surprise to see him on the ball with it, and it's to Mark Connolly. Connolly uses his pace and onto Paul Maher, and Adair looking to finish this game off now. Maher has players on side. It's Hugh Burke, a chance on here for Charlie McCarthy to finish it off, and McCarthy does! Charlie McCarthy has surely won this for Adair. Brilliant move, having James Kirby dispossessed on their own 45-metre line. Brilliantly worked the ball up. Charlie McCarthy, his first touch of the ball, has won this county final. Shawnee Murphy.
Yeah.
Shawnee Buckley.
Big breakaway there. It was last chance saloon for Ballylanders. They just need to hold ball and try and get a free off it or something like that. All caught wrong side of the ball, then huge fast break down the field and nobody home. That's the price you pay when you push up the field in the last minute. It's no fault of defence, but everyone went forward in search of an equaliser, and that's what happened if you turn over the ball. But it was clinical, very clinical from Adair at the end.
Has to be said, it was a clinical finish, very well worked move, and Charlie McCarthy, having just come onto the field a couple of minutes ago, in the 62nd minute, Matt O'Callaghan has surely won this final for Adair.
And there's no doubt about it. It's back-to-back titles for Adair, and I suppose on the performance of the second half, their second half they were far more clinical, and what we saw in the second half was the Adair that we have seen that have won 2 Premier Under-21 championships, an intermediate championship, and now 2 senior championships in 3 years. Absolutely phenomenal, and it was a phenomenal performance in the second half. The way they came out, and they choked the life and death out of Ballylanders in the third quarter, as they patiently dismantled the lead and then got in front, and as we've seen, once they got in front, they stayed there. Now they had a lot of defending to do to stay there for a period, particularly when the game was in the closing minutes of normal time and the early minutes of time added on. But they did it very, very well. And when we were talking in our preview before the game, we were saying like that we saw that type of a performance from them when it was asked them from Monaghan. When they were asked to defend, they were well able to do it, and like they defended back there, particularly in the closing minutes with discipline. All right, they conceded a free, but it was from a very, very awkward angle. But they were quite happy, quite patient to close everything down, and I suppose you could say it was a professional performance by Adair. We saw 2 Adairs today. We saw Adair in the first half that to a certain degree were lacklustre. They certainly weren't themselves. They showed signs of frustration coming up to half time, but once they went in at half time, Harry Gleeson and Morris Horn and Joe Reddington and the backroom team, they did a great job in steadying the ship. There was no panic. They made no changes. They sent out the same 50 the job after half-time when there was a temptation to make changes. They were 4 points behind. There were a lot of players not going well, a lot of key players not going well, but they obviously stuck with their plan, and it has come good at the end of the day. And you would have to say like that the last goal, it was a thing of beauty, and I suppose what a way to finish the 2018 Limerick Senior Football Championship.
Indeed, Shawnee, Matt's bang on the money with that. A massive second half performance from Adair. Showed all their class as champions from last year. But it has to be said, they were made play to their fullest, to their best ability in the second half because of Ballylanders' performance. And a word on Ballylanders, it's heartbreaking to lose any county final, but the effort they've put in, they were very, very big underdogs going into the game. They showed their class at different times through us, especially in the first half. They still came back again, but just couldn't get that level in score in the end.
No, telling was, I think that the second half is 1-8 to 3 points in the second half is what it ended there. In a second half of a county final won't see you over the line. Probably the last free there, if you're being nitpicking, possibly a left footer on it would have been the call. Hindsight is easy enough, and Kieran Callum was going well, but it was a really, really difficult kick for a right footer. Look, on Bally, they've by no means disgraced themselves here today. They've definitely spent themselves. They gave it everything, but you could definitely see halfway through the second half tiredness setting in, and when it came to having the legs and when it came to pace and driving through, Adair really, really had it in the end, and when they went for the kill, they got it. 1-8 in the second half, as I said. It's a lot of scoring, and the goal to seal the deal at the end.
And that's it from us here in Sporting Limerick's coverage of the Limerick Senior Football Championship final, where Adair have backed up last season's success with another county title win in 2018. We'll be back on Tuesday night for coverage of the Intermediate Football Championship final. Join us then.